The Macintosh was introduced in 1984 through a commercial that was considered revolutionary for the time. It is widely considered the most influential commercial ad ever. It was made to show that there was something unique about this computer. It was special. It started in 1976 when Steve Wozniak created the Apple I simply to show off at a computer club. Then, computers didn't have keyboards like the Apple I did. Steve Wozniak said in 2006 that when he built the Apple I, the first computer to say a computer should look like a typewriter, it should have a keyboard, and the output device is a TV set. He said, "It wasn't really to show the world that here's the direction it should go in. It was really to show the people around me, to boast, to be clever, to get acknowledgement for having designed a very inexpensive computer." He almost decided not to go, but then Steve Jobs saw the computer and thought it was amazing. He saw how genius it was and decided to fund its production, causing them to found Apple Computer Company. To sell the new Apple I, Steve Jobs made a deal with a local technology shop. The deal was successful and they sold about 200 units. Because of the Apple I's success, Apple was able to go on to design its second computer, the Apple II. This computer is widely considered the launch of the personal computer industry, mainly because it was widely available to the average user. It debuted at the West Coast Computer Fair in 1977. It was an amazing computer for the time and cost $1,300. The only problem was that there were not many applications for this computer yet, and without apps, the computer was pretty much useless. Until 1979, when the app VisiCalc was released, the Apple II had not had much success. This app made it possible to create spreadsheets on the computer to make calculations. This caused many companies to buy these computers with the application VisiCalc. Apple may not be around today if it weren't for VisiCalc. VisiCalc had caused the Apple II to sell. Later that year, Steve Jobs and select Apple employees visited Xerox PARC, a research center by Xerox. Jobs was amazed the most by a computer used there. It was revolutionary for the time, using a graphical user interface and a mouse to navigate. Jobs knew from that point on all of Apple's computers would incorporate all of these innovations because they made them so much easier to use. So that leads us to the Lisa and the Macintosh. The Lisa, a computer for business, came out a year before the Macintosh and was considered a flop. One reason was most likely the $10,000 price tag, which was simply too high for most businesses. Rick Tetzel, co-author of Becoming Steve Jobs, thought that it was doomed from the beginning. He says, "Apple was a consumer company and didn't have the DNA to produce a great business computer." He said, noting that Jobs himself was more fixated on the personal computer market. He tried to give the Lisa the kind of easy-to-use features that would eventually make the Mac a success, but he was too early and focused on the wrong market. A year later came the much more successful Macintosh. This computer was the first affordable home computer with a mouse and a graphical user interface priced at $2,500. This was the most revolutionary computer yet because of the graphical user interface that made it easy to use unlike the computers before it. A graphical user interface is when you use a series of icons and windows and use a mouse to navigate the computer. The reason this is so important to the computer industry is because with previous computers you had to learn a coding language and type commands to use the computer, causing the users to be extremely limited. Without the Macintosh, we might not have computers like we know it today. We also might not have smartphones. Almost all computers after this were similar and used the same innovations. While Apple just released the Macintosh, IBM released the PC Junior. It was not comparable to the Macintosh because of the graphical user interface that Apple offered. Apple had set the bar in computers, but what would a revolutionary computer be without a revolutionary advertisement? Steve Jobs wanted it to be a big release because this computer was going to change the industry. The production budget for the ad was $500,000. They wanted this ad to be amazing. Steve Jobs paid the advertising agency Chat Day to create a minute-long ad for the 1984 Super Bowl. The critically acclaimed big-time movie director Ridley Scott, who had just finished Blade Runner, was chosen to direct the ad.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the Information Purification Directives, we have created, for the first time in all history, a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests of being contradictory thoughts. Our unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause. Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, and we will weary them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
The big brother-like figure on the screen from the novel 1984 represented the control in the computer industry, and when the woman broke the screen, it showed that the Macintosh would be the start of a new era for the industry. The overall message of the ad was that Apple was about to release the Macintosh, and it would be a big deal. Nobody knew very much, but it caused many people to wonder what would be different about the Macintosh, and why would it be a big deal. The ad ended up getting almost as much attention as the computer, and was just as revolutionary. It showed that this computer would change the world forever. When Steve Jobs first saw the ad, he loved it, as did Chat Day. But when they showed it to the board, they all hated it. They told the ad agency to sell back the time slot. Chat Day wasn't able to sell back all of the time, and purposely tried not to, so Apple still had a minute of Super Bowl ad time left. Although the board hated it, after airing for the first time, many Americans loved it, and it got a lot of publicity. Many news stations or talk shows talked about it after, causing Apple to get roughly $150 million free dollars worth of advertising. This had been repeatedly voted the best and most effective commercial of all time, and it doesn't even show the product. This was the first ad like this at the Super Bowl. Previously, the ads were usually reruns from the year before.
I believe Apple's 1984 commercial was truly groundbreaking. It's been a case study used both through my time in school, studying advertising, as well as in my career, working with brands like Pizza Hut and Pepsi. And it's safe to say that the Super Bowl commercials have become bigger than the game itself, thanks to the work Apple did. It's allowed commercials to become events, and it's transformed the way Super Bowl advertising is thought about. At Pepsi, you can see how our approach has changed because of this. Before Apple's ad transformed the industry, it would have been normal to just show a product, maybe have a little jingle, but now our ads don't just sell a product but an idea and the lifestyle around it. I think it's amazing how one ad from Apple changed the landscape of advertising forever.
It caused a new era of advertising where the ads cost almost, sometimes even more excitement than the game itself. It inspired many to be creative and try to top it, but nobody has after 36 years. This shows that Apple has always been on the forefront of innovation. Their Macintosh was the first to use a graphical user interface and a mouse, but where they set the clear industry standard of excellence is especially evident in their laptops. Mac laptops used the first keyboard-forward design so that you could rest your palms on the computer. They implemented the first trackpad. Wi-Fi was first introduced on the Apple computer. A Retina display was first seen on an Apple laptop. To this day, Apple continues to innovate, pushing the tech industry forward.